May I take a moment and share with you the great nation? The great nation, there was a people who didn't feel that their nation was that great. They looked around and they saw all kinds of things happening. They saw pain, they saw suffering, they saw have-nots, and they saw people with haves. They saw people that were above the law and people that were under the law. They saw poverty. They saw crime and they saw violence. They saw racism and bigotry. They saw pain and they saw suffering. And they thought about having spent so much time and these things continuing. So it appeared as if generations come and generations go. But these things continued. And they wanted to end it. They wanted it to stop. And they were looking for ways to stop it. They thought about the politics that had been played, and no politics worked. It didn't matter who represented the moment in time. It failed. And so there was nothing that had been really tried that was worth consider being tried again. But they wouldn't give up. They wanted to stop the ugliness of life. The ugliness of their great-great-grandparents and their great-grandparents and their grandparents and their mothers and fathers. And today was their day. And they decided to stop it now. Not to pass it along, not one more day. They're going to stop it now. How do you do it? How do you do it? And they say, well, maybe we should look for some truth that we never received before. Because what we have received before, whether we call it truth or not, it didn't do anything for us. We are where we are. And so they wouldn't give up. And so they sat amongst themselves and they talked to one another. They hoped for one another. They cried out for one another. And in doing so, some realities started to appear. They recognized that the resources that they had the opportunity to live on the earth, that they had nothing to do with building. And they tried to answer the question, where did it come from? How did it happen? They could attach no man to his manifestation. So they saw it as being a power outside of themselves. And then when they started thinking about the things that they've accomplished, like homes, houses, food, and clothing, they started thinking that the resources also were made available freely. And they were there when they decided or chosen or rose to the awakeness that these resources could be used for these various purposes. And they began to use it. They were free. Then, but where did the power come from for all of the resources that were already on the earth, in the earth, or above the earth? Some of it was seen, a lot of it wasn't. But we were able to decipher it and bring it into the reality. Where was that power? It was unseen, but the evidence of its existence was all around us. And truly, when we started looking at those things that seemed to always work, it was the result of a power that we couldn't lay our hands on, we couldn't put our eyes on, but the evidence was all around us. And so we started thinking about the way we do stuff. It seems that all of that was working together, and we had never worked together before because we never taught anything about working together. We've had our various reasons, competing, this and that. But it had failed us, and we weren't giving up. And so they thought about it. And they asked the question, who amongst us does not benefit from something from this earth? No one could claim that, because everyone, in one way and many ways, benefit from the resources of this earth. They came unto this earth and benefited from this earth what had been made manifest. And so the number one obligation, the number one loyalty that each one should bring that justify their maintenance on this wonderful earth is to participate in the process of the life that it is, of its greatness, to remove all of the pain and suffering, to remove that which caused so much terror and war. And they found out that in practicing this, they had peace. They were prosperous. They were free. They were joyous. They were happy. And every last one of them were living their dreams. And ladies and gentlemen, that was, is, and will always be the great nation. Thank you.